I am Mayra Cantun, a Border Patrol wife for over 15 years. Day one of this administration, our agents went to work knowing they were outnumbered. Huge caravans of illegal immigrants were aggressively pushing their way into our agents' paths. Our agents knew our stations would hit max capacity instantly. Knowing they didn't have enough vehicles or facilities to stop these caravans, our agents, including my husband, felt defeated. He became more distant. As things got worse on the border, so did my husband. One night, as he tossed and began to mumble some words, he all of a sudden screamed out, "La niña, la niña," screaming as if this little girl's life was in danger. I was so terrified at the volume and tone, I froze. I then realized my husband was reliving the trauma of work in his sleep. I know the job is stressful, but I had no idea how bad things would get. Imagine this. A child who has just been through a horrible, traumatizing journey, may have possibly been raped or tortured by bad people, has now gained the trust of a Border Patrol agent. The child decides to vent to this agent and pours out every emotion he or she has been holding back. Now this child looks up at this agent for comfort, for answers. What could this agent possibly tell this child? Our agents are fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters. They are real humans with human emotions, emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, sympathy, and every emotion you or I would feel if we heard those stories. What has been done to assist our agents to handle these situations? What is the protocol? This Border Patrol wife is asking, what was the plan for our agents who would be hearing these stories from the millions of illegal immigrants you and you were crossing? We all knew for months in advance that the caravans of family units were coming. We all knew that the journey was going to be like for those women and children. You knew our agents were going to be the first in line to handle these traumatized individuals. What was the plan for them? Did you consider the long-term effects of an agent's mental and spiritual health from listening to the horrific tragedies from the millions of illegal immigrants that would be crossing? What are you doing now, 2.5 years later? As a wife, allow me to describe what happens. Our agents with boots on the ground carry those stories with them. They carry the names and faces of those children, women, and even those good men that may have had a family member get swept into the river. These stories come up throughout their day as they themselves try to live their normal life. It fills their thoughts daily to the point where normal life situations are no longer as relevant as those tragic stories. This creates a challenge for a family as a whole. Us wives end up having to take over every situation at home. Distance grows between a husband and a wife. This creates many more arguments, frustrations, resentments. Our children, unfortunately, get sidelined. How could a failing grade ever come close to what our agents go through at work? This creates distance between our agents and our children. The burden of not being able to help or fix up problems at work becomes so overwhelming it consumes an agent's mind to the point where he lashes out in anger. This creates even more problems in a happy home. Without an agent even realizing it, problems at home end up being greater than he or she imagined. In many cases, an agent turns to alcohol, solitude, and all of a sudden, we end up with a potential divorce, topped with depression. And just like that, our Border Patrol agents end up with a high suicide rate.